Hello and welcome back. This is the second day at the Psychedelic Therapeutics and Drug Development Conference. And today I have with me Brian Barnett. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today.
Yes, you're welcome. So could you briefly introduce yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I'm a psychiatrist at Cleveland Clinic. Clinically, there I run something called the Psychiatric Treatment Resistance Program, which is a program where we focus on the treatment of patients who aren't responding as you would expect after a couple oral medications and/or psychotherapy. So we focus on interventional psychiatric treatments, things like ketamine, electroconvulsive therapy, transcranial magnetic stimulation. And we're also very interested in the development of new psychiatric treatments because we encounter a lot of patients who don't respond to any of the treatments that we currently have. And we do clinical trials with novel agents and treatments. So we've done trials with ketamine for different indications, psychedelics like psilocybin, LSD, some novel psychedelics as well, deep brain stimulation. So yeah, we're just very interested in advancing the care of patients who are struggling to get better.
So you have many tools. You never had that many tools before.
Yeah, it's been an exciting time in the field over the last few years. Transcranial magnetic stimulation has come into more use. Spravato was approved by the FDA maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And now potentially we may have psychedelics on the horizon for FDA approval. So we're really hoping we'll have even more to offer patients in the near term.
Do you see any combination between those different compounds or treatments?
Potentially. I think research on this is kind of in its infancy, but I know that there are trials going on right now where they're giving psychedelics to maybe take advantage of the neuroplasticity effects and then giving people transcranial magnetic stimulation. So I think it'll be a few years before we can find out more about this, but I really do anticipate that there will be some combination of treatments, some switching of treatments, and yeah, patients might have to try a few different ones before they find the one that is best for them.
Yeah, this morning I think they were talking about a marker to see if you would be resistant or not to SSRIs. So having this marker could avoid to have like a 10-year treatment and go straight to psychedelics, for example, type of thing.
Yeah, if that pans out, that would be great. Our field has been hoping for biomarkers for a long time for basically all the various treatments. But patients do spend a lot of time on treatments that aren't very helpful or that cause them side effects. And we would really like to get to a point in the field where we can foresee what's going to happen and spare them that lost time, because these conditions do get harder to treat the longer they go untreated. And now with increasing computational power, machine learning, AI, we might be able to see signals and data from sources such as EEG that we weren't able to see before to make predictions about treatment response. So that's also a very exciting area in the field.
Excuse me, what brings you to the conference this year? And what do you like about this conference in particular?
Well, I came to the conference this year just to get a better handle on what's going on with psychedelics. You know, it's a hot topic in the field, so it's always touched on at many of the conferences across psychiatry. But I really like that this conference is psychedelic focused. It's in a very scientific manner. You have many of the prominent researchers here and people doing the whole gamut of work from basic science research to clinical research to touching on regulatory issues and what can be anticipated if these are eventually approved as medicines. So it's been a great opportunity for me to stay caught up on what's happening, since the field is moving very, very quickly, and also to network and get to know other people in the field and to hopefully form some collaborations in the future.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any takeaway message so far?
I think the biggest one is just that, you know, things are advancing incredibly quickly. I've been very surprised and impressed at how quickly researchers and in the fields of psychiatry and neuroscience have pivoted to this opportunity to look at these drugs. And people have been very effective in designing trials, getting funding where it was very difficult in the past. And so yeah, I'm leaving the conference feeling very hopeful and optimistic about what's next for psychedelic science.
Mm-hmm. One last question for you. What excites you most in the field right now?
I think learning more about the mechanism of how these drugs work. I've been very impressed with the work the basic scientists are doing here. And also seeing what we can derive from psychedelics. There have been a few talks on, the so-called non-psychedelic psychedelics. So could we isolate the benefits of these drugs without having the subjective effects? Which I think would be really helpful for scaling the benefits of these treatments, if it is possible. I know this is an area where people are divided and we still need more data, but that to me has been a very interesting development. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. And I think whether it works out or not, we would have been foolish not to have looked now that we have the opportunity to really get studies going with these compounds and their derivatives.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian, for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your conference and see you later.
All right. Thank you very much.